Hi, I'm Gina. This is Dylan. And we're just going to start off with, do you fear death?
Yes and no,
Okay, why?
not because I'm necessarily afraid of dying, but because I'm afraid of dying in a state of mortal sin.
Okay.
But at the same time, the more I trust in God, the less I should be afraid because I'm putting too much pride in myself, thinking like I'm the one who gets me to heaven and not him. So, no,
So, no, you don't fear death.
no.
Okay, perfect. So, where does this unusual response, people are usually scared of death, stem from? And you said, kind of religious reasons.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into, more death, or do you feel like you covered that already?
Yeah, I would say just my faith formation and my understanding of pride and grace and trust in God helps me inform my own feelings about death,
Okay.
and just my natural experience of going through life, seeing the more negative parts about it, I guess almost puts me in the opposite direction of yeah, because I trust in God and I because it's His grace that gets me to heaven, I'm I'm not afraid of death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, so when you are in a state of mortal sin, do you become more afraid of the fact that you could die?
In a very topical, kind of catastrophizing sort of way, yes. But again, I think it's important to center anyone in that position. It's important to center yourself around okay, trusting in God is more important because now I'm thinking it's myself who gets me to heaven and not His grace, and He knows my heart better than I do.
Okay.
So yeah, sure.
So,
so yeah.
Okay. My biggest fear is to be in a state of mortal sin and die because it's said that you just plummet to hell. That's
Sure.
Terrifying for me.
But we also can't we shouldn't despair over someone's salvation.
Okay.
We should always trust in God because He knows that person's heart better than we do. He knows the last moments of their life on earth, what they were thinking, where their heart was. So I'd say it isn't helpful for anybody to despair over their own salvation or other people's salvation.
Okay. Awesome. How does your lack of fear affect your perspective on life and your actions?
I'd certainly say I could be reckless with my life at sometimes.
How so?
I don't know, maybe I bike down the street at 20 miles an hour and speed through stop signs on my bike, or just not take as good as precautions as I should, perhaps. Maybe I don't prioritize sleep all that much or take care of myself the way people should. What was the other part of the question? What was the first part of the
How
question?
does your lack of fear affect your perspective on life and your actions?
Oh.
So, how does it affect your life?
I guess because I trust in God and His mercy, and I am, for the most part, or at least I strive to be a faithful Catholic, I'm okay, I'm ready to get out of here because who's going to be oh yeah, life is perfect 100% of the time. I'm sure there are people like that, but
Yeah.
for me personally, it's hard to kind of keep that mindset all the time.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's yeah, I welcome death.
Okay.
If I'm confident in God's mercy and His grace, which maybe I'm not always in that state of mind, but I guess in a place where I am in that state of mind, then yeah, death doesn't scare me.
Okay.
But even then, that's still reckless because if you view your life as or if you view life in general as not a precious, beautiful thing, that could be harmful to you and to other people.
Okay. Yeah.
And to your faith.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then, how does your lack of fear affect your relationship with others?
I'd say people might worry because of how gung-ho I am in with things I do. Maybe yeah, I don't prioritize sleep. Maybe I pull all-nighters because I have to do work or whatever. Or maybe they might see my outlook on life to be too negative sometimes. Because I do long for eternal paradise, and
Yeah.
it's like realistically, if you knew heaven and you trusted that heaven and like you're going to heaven, why would you prefer Earth?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, in that sense, it's like, okay, it would just be weird not to prefer eternal paradise over Earth.
Yeah, but like, and I'm just gonna ask this because we talked about it in class. Like, your mom, for example, your dad. Like, do they know that you don't fear death and that you welcome it to an extent? And do you think that the fact that you don't, like, in a way, don't fear death and you, not necessarily like you're reckless with it, do you think that harms your relationship with God and at all? I know you kind of covered that.
I mean, yeah, because like life is precious. We shouldn't see our lives as like oh man, this sucks. Why did you do this to me? Or like something like that. Like we shouldn't be despairing over like the everyday having to wake up and go through the emotions and pains of being a human. I'd say they I'd say they certainly worry. I think sometimes they feel like I'm a little too extreme about my faith, and like that will lead me to like a bad mental state or whatever. Um, but yeah, I guess in that sense, sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me read through this. I think that's all. Do you have any final comments?
I think anybody fearing death should first and foremost trust in God and His grace, and not despair over their salvation or others.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.